And then it does that. Good evening. Let's see, I do not believe we have a member of the Minister Alliance with us this evening, so we will stand for a moment. Oh, we do, excuse me. Yes, please. Can you come up to the microphone? What's your name, sir?
Herbert Sands. Promise I'm not preaching a message, okay?
We've been told that before. Thank you.
We all stand together. We just want to thank you, dear Lord, for the opportunity to come together as we meet and discuss the various business and things of Oak Grove. We pray for each one that took the opportunity to come out tonight, and that the Lord would lead them and guide them. And we pray for the council that they would be guided spiritually, and that everything would be done and conducted in the order that you would want it to have to be. And we pray that what is done and what is said will honor you. In your name, amen.
Amen. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call the May 1st, 2023 Board of Aldermen meeting to order. City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rachel Kilmer.
Here.
Jim Shrout.
Here.
Tracy Newcomer.
Here.
Jeremy Taylor. Pam Pope.
Here.
Kelly Netto.
Here.
And Mayor Dana Webb.
Here, thank you. The next item on the agenda is new business deletions or continuances. We do not have any of those tonight, so we will move on to public comments. Do we have any?
There are none.
All right, no public comments. The next item on the agenda is a consent agenda. These items are considered on the consent agenda so that members of the board, by unanimous consent, can designate routine items to be approved by one motion. Tonight, we have approval of the April 17th, 2023 Board of Aldermen meeting minutes and expenditures through April 27, 2023.
I'll make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We do not have any of that this evening, so we will move on to new business. The first item of new business is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding electing a mayor pro tem for Board of Aldermen. That's me. That's my report. So as we need, every year, we elect a mayor pro tem. Kelly and Jim have done this before. Previously, we did it where you guys nominated people, and then we had closed ballot, you pass it to me. We cannot do closed ballot anymore. Whatever you decide to do has to be verbal open voting. You can also make a motion to change the way we do mayor pro tem in any way. I had a question asked, are there other ways to do it? City of Blue Springs does it by seniority of years of service, and then it just rotates every year. Or, no? Can't?
We can't do that.
Can't do that, never mind.
As a fourth-class city, the board has to select
Okay, then we can't
one
do
of
that.
their members as the president, mayor pro tem.
All right, then you guys will give nominations, then we'll have to take the one or two or however many and do an open voting, correct? You're not going to do ballots this year, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yep.
Just the normal thing of somebody nominate one of the other board members
Okay,
and get a second and see if there are any other nominations and then vote.
yeah. Mayor Pro Tem's duties are that at any time I'm not at a meeting, you would be here in this seat, or at anything that I need to be at in the city. If I could not make it, then you would fill in those shoes and be present.
Can I ask why it changed in how we do the voting?
That would be our lawyer.
I think that was due to Attorney General's opinion, where doesn't mean it's the law, but there's an Attorney General's opinion that says they don't believe that closed voting is allowed because of the Sunshine Law. So just to be safe,
Yeah.
we recommend we go back to the way we used to do it as the mayor described.
Thank you. I nominate Jeremy Taylor.
I second it.
Any other nominations? All right, so we have a motion and a second for Jeremy Taylor. Can I do a roll call, or do I do all in favor? What's the,
You can do either one.
okay. There's a nomination for Jeremy Taylor as Mayor Pro Tem. All in favor, or any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
See, that's what happens when you don't come to meetings.
Ooh, that's true. All right, the next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a special event permit application for the for Oak Grove School District for the 2023 Homecoming Parade. Kim, is that your report?
Yes, this is a special event permit application that we received from Darren Silkey, the athletic director for the high school, requesting the annual homecoming parade for Friday, October the 13th. It would be 1 p.m. Until approximately 3 p.m. The route he is requesting is the same route that they've had over the past few years, coming down 12th Street, turning on to 11th Street, and then back down Broadway. They typically go on 14th and 16th Street back to the either high school or middle school. And in speaking with Captain Paris, they are requesting maybe that they would just return on 14th Street.
Eliminate 16.
Everyone would go back on the same street. And Captain could probably speak to that a little bit more, possibly.
Yes, please.
Yes, so, in the past, the route was down Broadway to 16th Street and then back into the school that way. The middle school and the band did not want to walk that far, they started having problems. So every year, they break off and go down 14th Street. Now we have two parades going at the same time, and we have no protection, and the manpower to facilitate this. And we have cars that have gone through the 14th Street and almost taken out kids every year. I thought we had this fixed last year, and we did not. They still broke off after I thought we had it figured out. So for this year, what I like to do is make it clear with the board of either they're going to go down 14th Street or they're all going to go down 16th Street. If the band's going to go down 14th Street like every year they've done before, then I just recommend we just take the whole parade down 14th Street.
Okay. Understand, board?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but they're asking for both streets on their,
That was what the request was.
Okay.
And then they're also requesting, of course, the bonfire on Wednesday night.
Yes.
In front of the high school in the same location. And they would get that permit from Sny Valley as well.
yes. Okay.
I feel like that shaves off a lot of the parade route. Am I?
If you mean if they turn on 16th?
Yeah, if we, yeah.
But you're okay if they turn on 14th, you're saying,
No, and that's what we were talking about last year, is that they were going to go all the way down to 16th Street, and that did not happen.
Okay.
They still went down, so even though they said they were going to go all the way down 16th, they still shot down 14th Street. And that's why my recommendation would be to just take it down 14th Street. There's still plenty places to line up all the way down Broadway. There's usually still open ground, so it's not like there's not enough area there. And then they can still line up down 14th Street all the way to the school and into the school, see the break come back in.
okay.
Okay.
I have a question about when we shut down. It's usually just minutes before the parade actually gets to Broadway, and it's terrifying to see all those kids lined up on Broadway and the trucks flying through there. Is that something we could adjust, or?
In the middle of it's right in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
so we're trying to accommodate the parade and accommodate the traffic going through town. So we try to not impact either one very
Sure.
much. So that's why we've done that. We try to make sure that the officers and stuff try to get that cleared out on both sides of Broadway and before we open it back up. So everybody, the spectators are aware that it's getting ready to open back up. And that's usually what we do
I agree with you. It is very scary, the daycare and whatnot. They're out there for a long time before the traffic starts, so.
Any other questions? So I'm just looking for a motion to approve, but take into
Mayor?
consideration, yes,
There's also the city services daily fee of $250 as well to be considered,
to waive
to
or
waive.
to.
Yeah, or to keep, but
250? Okay.
Has that been discussed with the school district? You just,
We know the
No?
answer
yeah,
now.
so, no, they're just sitting this in as per usual. So
Okay.
with our new ordinance that was adopted, since there will be police used that day, to cover manpower and overtime would be $250. But
Does it
we've
say?
not done that fee in the past.
Right, does it say 250 on the actual application when you come in to get an application for that?
Yes, I believe it does. Yes.
I mean, I know it's all
city
new, but we
services
just want to
fee
make
is
sure people
$250.
are aware of it.
They are aware of the $50 permit fee itself and that
Okay.
it is waived.
but what about the 250? Because I don't see it on the application
But
here.
it wasn't discussed.
Okay,
We should
It-
spread that information out to the city if we're going to keep it, or we should just get rid of it, in my opinion. I make a motion that we approve the special event permit application from the school district for the homecoming parade and bonfire, with the caveat that it is moved from 16th Street down 14th Street, and we waive the $250 fee.
I'll second.
we have a motion and a second for the homecoming parade on October 13th with the new route of 14th Street and waive the $250 fee. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding a special use permit application for Jacob's Closet and Emerald Mission for a 5K on Saturday, June 17th, 2023. Kim, that's you again.
Yes, so we have our third special event permit. It is from Jacob's Closet and Emerald Mission, and Emily Chambers is who submitted the application. She did mention to me that she might be here this evening, and I don't think she is.
Emily Chambers, are you present? Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So we do have some representatives from Jacob's Closet that could answer any questions about this as well.
Okay.
The Audrey Griffin 5K Memorial Run was very similar, if not the same route that they have proposed. They will not be having the Audrey Griffin Run anymore. Her
Okay.
granddaughter used to spearhead that for her. Anyway, so it's my understanding that Emily used to run in the Audrey Griffin Run. And so when they found out that there wasn't going to be a 5K in Oak Grove, they thought that this would be a good opportunity for their not-for-profit to be able to continue to offer a 5K in Oak Grove, but for a different group. Okay. The Audrey Griffin was benefited the Booster Club, Oak Grove High School Booster Club. So this application is for June the 17th. The event hours are from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. They would start setting up at 5:30 a.m. They have talked with the school and have permission to use the parking lot there. And then the route has been reviewed by the police department as well. And I think
You're
there
good with
was
it?
no
Okay.
changes there. In your packet is the route. You can see. I won't go through where that's going to be going. And
How much police staff will this require?
Not very much. This is a parade route that the only main road they'll be on, as far as I'm aware, going to be 12th Street. So we'll provide protection on 12th Street, just kind of front and behind and kind of the intersection at the four-way stop. And then they go back into the neighborhood down, if I believe it's Royal. And once they're on back, it's all back roads back there, so it's kind of, and they're kind of spread out. So it's kind of just kind of maintains itself, and we just kind of have officers just in the area just monitoring it.
So no roads are going to be shut down?
No.
What does this, I believe I read this benefit in mental health in the Kansas City area. Is there going to be any direct benefit to Oak Grove?
Emily, can you please come forward? Oh, whoever's here to speak, can you come to the microphone? And please state your name.
Hi, I'm Michelle Skoronsky, and we started this nonprofit in 2019. And I'm sorry, what else did you name?
Kelly, go
I
ahead.
was just wondering what the tie to Oak Grove is, and will this benefit Oak Grove in any particular way?
We are very open to that, and I know there is a facility here. My sister lives in Oak Grove. Blake Nichols is also going to be running this 5K, and he's a grad of Oak Grove. But we would love to help wherever needed. We provide resources and support for those affected by mental illness. So currently, we have partnered with Truman Medical Center now. It's called University Health. We provide clothes, coats, shoes, a lot of other things, and then also Children's Mercy. We provide items for the mental health unit there. We are just starting to expand and would love to. So if anybody has, any other organizations that need the help, we're here. So.
Thank you.
Thank you. Does the board have any other questions?
Well, the $250 fee again, it's waived because it's not profit. Okay.
It's nonprofit.
Okay.
So, the application fee of $50 is waived by ordinance for nonprofits.
Yes.
The 250 is
But
not.
the 250 is not, but it can be waived by the Board of Aldermen.
So can we like
get rid of it.
well, or like get
We
like
keep waiving it.
or get like the cover page of the application in bold print to say there's a $250 fee.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we can say they knew when they signed up because
Yes.
I feel bad charging it to anyone that it was like hidden in the fine print. But
And I mean, it's new. This is
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah.
We probably should have discussed starting it on a certain date or something.
Right.
But
Yeah, so we can certainly make the application more clear
yeah,
about that, that if they are going to request, police presence or road closures, that there is a cost to that, and that'd be $250, unless the board views that event is, that fee should be waived for that particular event.
and like for me, this one I would waive. I would lean towards waiving it either waive since it's minimal police presence required anyways. But just if
Yeah.
we can't
Good
do
point.
it forever.
Yeah,
on
good
everyone.
point.
Well, and then it's that, well, you did it for this group.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing it for my group? So I think we either need to stick with it or get rid of it. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're just going to be splitting hairs eventually.
Yeah.
And the nonprofit could, I would think, be the drawing line, couldn't it?
will you
Well, they're all
waive it?
nonprofits. I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
the majority of people that do the special events or the runs or anything like
Yeah.
that is a
When we-
nonprofit.
When we originally voted on it, though, we talked about car lots and,
Yeah.
things like that. And so those would not be nonprofit. They would be,
The ordinance says to waive the $50
Yeah, not the two.
for nonprofit.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
But I see what she's saying. She's saying our like philosophy could be that, but yeah. Anyways, on this one, I think we should waive it. But I make a motion to approve the application for the 5K and waive the $250 event fee.
a second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the special event permit for Jacob's Closet and Emerald Mission for the 5K and waive this $250 permit fee. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding the 2023 COPS hiring program grant submission request. Captain?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mayor. So before you is our request to apply for the grant funding during the 2023 fiscal year, the Department of Justice COPS hiring program. If awarded, the grant would provide 75% for one officer's salary and benefits for the period of 3 years. The grant has a total lifespan of 5 years to accommodate the hiring process and the time required to onboard a new position. While any grant is not a given, being awarded is not a given. The opportunity would allow the police department to explore working with the school district and considering a full-time school resource officer. Such a position would not be a new hire because the grant specifies, and it's best practice that an SRO is an experienced officer of at least 3 years. After we move that officer to the position, the grant would then backfill a new hire. With 75% funding for those 3 years would allow the gradual transition and possible move up the timeline for the future consideration for a school resource officer. With that, I'd answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Captain.
Thank you. And this is our, just asking to be able to apply for the grant.
Didn't we just pass something regarding the school resource officer? Is that a different grant?
This is for an additional.
An additional grant, but so the last one doesn't cover the school resource officer in full?
That
Or this
was-
is for the
that was-
second?
That was for the combat fund.
Okay,
Combat funding that helps pay for Officer
DARE.
Marshall's position and the
Yes.
funding for the DARE program and all that stuff. This would be asking for a grant to add an additional officer.
and another one, okay.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
Would we, and perhaps you, maybe I just completely missed it when you said it, but would we hire someone and then keep
So what
them
would, yeah, so what
regardless?
would happen is, we would, a current officer, we'd open up the process. If we would get the grant,
That's the part, that's what
if we would get the
the
grant,
Okay,
then to fill that position, we would fill with an existing officer that we have, has to be an officer with at least 3 years' experience. And then what we would do is we'd have to backfill that position to fill the road position that that officer vacated.
how long, is this just a 1-year salary for that?
3 years.
3 years? Thank you.
And then, do you know what the odds are after the 3 years of getting, can you get it again? Or then are we gonna then have another officer?
So the odds of getting a federal grant is never a given. There's a lot of, it's very competitive. We've put in for them before and have been declined for it. So this is another time, we're just asking to put in for it and see if we can get it.
Yeah, I guess,
So you could apply for another COPS grant in the future, but if you do receive a COPS grant, you're required to maintain that position going forward. So you can't, after 3 years, get rid of that position. The feds use this as an opportunity to add what they, community-oriented policing. As Captain Paris mentioned, we've applied before, not received it. In fact, last time we got a COPS grant, I believe, was back in '99 when the department was formed. We had a COPS grant to help with that. Our hope is that by doing an SRO, working with the school district, that'll help us, score on some metrics with the feds and may improve our chances of getting it, but it is pretty slim to get a COPS grant. The hope would be that if we do, then it would be an additional position in partnership with the school district. So if we get that far, then certainly we would want to work with the school district on them paying, helping to recoup some of the costs related to that SRO position while they're at the school.
I guess my concern is then after 3 years, what happens? Then do we have 2 school resource officers and we're having to pay for one? I mean, how does that play out usually?
Right, yeah, so we would have to have the funding in place to fund this position ongoing.
And the additional officer that would be backfilled.
And part of
Correct.
that, we are working with the school district because we see a benefit to work together. It benefits them, benefits us. So part of that would be that they would incur or look at incurring some of the cost, but that would be dependent on how much they use that officer. So if they only use it for a school year, which is roughly 180 days out of the year, they would fund that part and then the city would fund the rest of that.
The school district's aware that we have applied,
They're
Yes,
asking-
that we are applying, yes.
Yeah.
They're aware.
They are working on the application with us.
Yes.
And then, just to make sure I'm clear, after 3 years, it does have to stay a school resource officer. We can't then convert that role into just a regular officer position, right?
I believe it's for just additional officer.
Okay.
I don't believe we are looking at it for a school resource officer. Check, Chief Childs is the one who's actually working on the grant. I believe that's just to add a police officer. We are looking at working with the school district to use that possible position to add an officer to the school district.
Is the school board, is the district saying they really need another school resource officer?
They are looking at, we're looking at the opportunities of what it can bring a benefit to the city and for the school district to have an additional officer there.
But from what I understand, they're almost at the population of students that they would need another one. Possibly. You may not know that answer.
I don't know.
If we give permission for them to apply, for you, I'm sorry, I said them, for the department to apply, does it then come back to us to see if we move
Okay.
forward with that?
Yes.
Right now, we're just giving
Okay.
them permission to apply.
Right.
But it will come back to us to see if we're going to move forward with taking that money in.
Yeah, and typically you then have a certain length of time to get your program set, hire that officer.
Okay.
And then the feds start saying, hey, if you haven't used the money yet, you're going to lose it. So that we would apply. If we got it, then there would be
Then we
some
come
timeline for us, or the board, for you all to make a decision about whether or not to accept that grant.
Okay.
Okay.
That makes
And
sense.
that timeline is 5 years.
Okay, perfect.
Very good.
In that case, I make a motion that we approve the 2023 COPS hiring program grant submission.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the grant program for the hiring of the 2023 COPS program. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The next item on the agenda is discussion, consideration, and possible action for Bill Number 23-19 regarding an ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute the right-of-way use agreement for Clear Wave Fiber LLC. Matt?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So Clearwave Fiber has requested consent from the city to use the city's public right-of-way to construct, install, and operate fiber optic communications facilities. The ordinance attached, as well as the right-of-way agreement, mirrors the conditions allowable under state law. It's been reviewed and generally agreed upon by both the city attorney's office as well as Clearwave Fiber's legal team. This is a very similar ordinance and right-of-way agreement the board approved for Brightspeed. Under state law, we have to be competitively equal for those users that are similarly situated in our right-of-way. So it's essentially the same agreement as you've seen before. And I believe Caleb Maxfield with Clearwave is here.
She is, right there.
And I'm sure she'd be happy to answer any questions the board may have about Clearwave's fiber, as well as their network that they're proposing to bring to Oak Grove.
I do
So-
have questions.
So
Gail,
with
would
that,
you-
I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I'm sure Caleb would be happy as well.
We might have you, but we're going to ask Kayla to come up. Kayla, would you please come to the microphone and state your name, please? I heard you drove 2 hours to get here. Is that correct?
I did.
And
I
you
just
did-
had a brand new car last night, though,
Yeah.
so I was enjoying
So you're
that.
good with
But
it.
yeah, it's
Right.
I live in Emporia, Kansas. So
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
little bit of a jump.
Then you do need some microphone time. You drove
Yes.
2 hours, yeah.
Well, I'm Kayla Maxfield with Clearwave Fiber. Thank you all for having us.
Board, ask away.
I have a question. The particular area of town that I live in, what Brightspeed, formerly CenturyLink, abandoned their sections in the subdivision around 15 years ago, we believe. I want to know what will that, the current product that's sticking up in all of our yards be used by you, or will it be removed by you and replaced with your product? Or will there be another tower stuck in all of our yards?
Great question. So we plan to build our own network. So we will not tap into, we will not utilize any of Brightspeed's network. So we will lay additional lines. Now, it just depends on the actual engineering and the details of that, of how that looks. But our preferred method is, of course, aerial. That is, it's a lot cheaper and faster to go aerial, but majority is going to be underground, and there's usually what we call vaults. They're flat with the ground, but it is in the customer's right-of-way. So I can say that we will have our own network that we will run the lines in.
And so that would mean that, like where I live, we'd be looking at another tower in our yard, another.
Yeah, I can't speak to exactly what Brightspeed uses.
Well, Brightspeed, they abandoned the entire area and left all of
Left all their network.
it was CenturyLink at that time.
Okay.
But you
So-
just said it's not a tower, it's going to be like
Those flat boxes.
flat box
Yeah,
in the
so
ground.
there's a variety. That we do have what we call cabinets, but those do not go in every person's yard. So it just depends. I I haven't seen the exact engineering. You might have seen it, probably not yet. I don't even know if we've sent that yet. But AT&T used to call them PEDs. They're little silver. They look like, when we call them PEDs, are like this high off the ground. We have what we call cabinets. It's where the fiber optic all goes back to one space, but one cabinet can feed several hundred homes. So I can say you won't have a cabinet sticking up in every single yard, but I can't say exactly where those cabinets will be placed. Now, our engineering team will be able to do that, and we'll work with the city's staff to get that done. But most of our, what we call vaults, are flat. And they'll just be in the right-of-way.
So there's a vault and then the cabinet, they're two separate things?
Correct, correct.
And so is the vault in every yard?
No, it is not.
So you say
So,
a cabinet can feed several hundred?
yes.
And so then how often do you need a vault?
It really just depends on the design. If you would like, I can get your address and I can email you and send you a copy of the design so you can see, but I can't speak to that without having the engineering plans right in front of me and knowing what address you're at and what space you are, unfortunately. But I'm happy to look in that for you.
Well, I'm assuming there's other areas of town that they probably abandoned as well. I do not know that, though. So I just wondered if we could, before we voted on it, visually see what we were looking at.
Well, it's not their responsibility to
Yes.
clear Brightspeed's vaults or
No,
anything
I
in a
under-
right-of-way, correct, Matt? Yeah.
I understand.
Okay.
I understand. It's hard to vote on something when you visually don't see what.
Yeah.
Well, I think we would get approval on next steps and planning and all of that stuff, right? Or some of it would come back to us, or,
No, so if they have, once this agreement, if adopted, then they would submit their engineering reports, and as long as they meet our right-of-way requirements, we would permit their work in the right-of-way.
but it's the same for like Comcast or Brightspeed or.
Correct, yeah, they'd be treated, it'd be anybody working in the public right-of-way, yeah, whether it be an electric company, a gas company, fiber optics, or anything else,
In the easements.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could also locate in private easements, so if the company wanted to, they probably will primarily use public right-of-way, but they could also secure their own private easements for things as well.
Will the homeowner have an option if they want one of these in their yard, cabinet or a vault?
No, I can say, so I'll back up just a little bit. What we are doing is different than, I'm not sure if Brightspeed was laying fiber or not, but what we're doing is, has anybody here heard of Google Fiber?
Sure.
You know, they bring
Yes.
fiber to the home 100% across the city. So what our plan is to do is to make Oak Grove a gigabit city. Every home will have access to our fiber optic lines. It's fiber to the home or fiber to the business. Now, the resident does have the option whether or not they want to take the service or not. So we will lay the fiber in the right-of-way, but if the resident chooses not to have our service, then we will not run a fiber line to their home, essentially.
Do you have an outlook as timeline?
Yes.
Yes.
So we originally were hoping that we would be able to start this year, but there have been some supply chain constraints, labor. It's really hard to find fiber optic technicians. So we'd be looking late Q1 or Q2 of 2024. So about a year from now.
I move for first and second reading by title only of Bill number 23-19.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the first and second reading of the proposed ordinance, which is Bill number 2319, by title only. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? City Clerk, would you please read the full title of the bill 2 times?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a rights-of-way use agreement to Clearwave Fiber LLC. An ordinance authorizing the mayor to execute a rights-of-way use agreement to Clearwave Fiber LLC.
I move for adoption of Bill number 23-19.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for the adoption of Bill number 23-19. Any discussion? If not, City Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Rachel Kilmer,
Yes.
Jim Shrout,
Yes.
Tracy Newcomer,
Yes.
Pam Pope,
Yes.
Kelly Netto.
Yes.
The motion is approved, and Bill number 23-19 becomes ordinance number 2078. Thank you, Kayla.
Thank you all very much for your time.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is what you all have been waiting for. All right, I need all of you guys to come down, please.
She always makes us come down there, but then we never say anything.
What?
No.
All right, all of you, I guess all of you are here tonight for the ceremony, right? You got to sit through what typically the people that you're here tonight representing, they were doing for various lots of years. So tonight we're here and it's a ceremony and we've got this wall over here and it's to honor public servants. And actually, the month of May is all about honoring Board of Aldermen in every community. So that's like a nationwide thing. So these guys will be honored this month, and then we're honoring your loved ones during this time. So our staff has been hard at work. Kim has to create this wall, and we're going to tear it off here in a minute, but we want to tell you a little bit about it. So we are specifically tonight honoring Mike Johnston's family, and Mike Johnston and his family. He served April 20th, 1998 to May 7th, 2009, 11 years of service. So let's please give a hand for that. The next person would be Larry Moore. Larry served from April 6th, 2005 to July 27th, 2017, 12 years of service. Mike Baxter. Mike served from April 16th, 2007 to August 20th, 2016, 9 years of service. And Brad Alexander served from August 28th, 1997 to September 6th, 2022, 25 years of service. I could stand here all night, but my words can't express enough what these people have devoted time and time they've taken away from you that they spent doing service, public service for our community. And so this is just a simple way for us to honor. These are people that actually passed away during their time of service, serving the city of Oak Grove. So on the wall, you will see a plaque that actually has our first mayor of Oak Grove was Thomas McCleary Vermillion. From 1878 to 1890, and then it has a list of other mayors that have served all the way up to me, and then it has our council that's on there now. But most importantly, you'll get to see some really cool things for your family. So we ready? We're going to unveil it. Come on, board. Can we just pull it and pop it? Is that what I do? Kim? Yeah. All right. No, pull it. There's pins.
I can't reach that.
Here we go. Be careful.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, there you go. So if you're going to leave a legacy, make a mark on the world that can't be erased. So we thought that clearly fit this, and then as you see, the ones that we just listed off, we took the last picture that we had and then did that. So we're hoping that you guys enjoy that. You can take pictures by it and hang out. And then here we have the first mayor. Look at this picture. You believe we had a picture of the first mayor, pretty impressive, huh? And then a little bit of information. And then we also have our police chiefs right here. And then here's Kim. Kim actually did this very good job of finding the years and dates. We don't know some of these years of previous mayors. And then here's all of us up here now. So, yeah. Well done. Well done. We're calling it our legacy wall, and we're so thrilled that you came tonight to help us reveal it. Actually, I saw a fake picture of it, but this is the first time, and I think city staff did a great job. Good job. So we would like for you to hang out with us. Our meeting is, well, we need to go back up and adjourn our meeting, and then we're gonna come down and enjoy time with you. You can take pictures by it. We have cookies and coffee and water over there. But we're gonna go up here and adjourn really quick, and then we'll come down, all right? Oh, yeah, we have to do our reports. It will be just a moment.
I literally thought it was because we're just gonna take pictures against the back. Oh. I didn't realize that was under it.
The next item on the agenda is information reports. Matt, do you have one?
No report. Thank you, Mayor.
Chris, do you have one? Okay. Mark, do you have one?
Test of the outdoor warning system is Wednesday, weather permitting.
All right, fantastic. Captain? Tom?
Last week, we had a contractor in town painting fire hydrants. We got 100 fire hydrants painted this year, so hopefully enjoy the new red hydrants. We have about 500 in the city, so we're going to try to get them on a 5-year cycle, so.
Yes, and any of you citizens that have just a random vehicle pull up to your house and they paint your fire hydrant pink, that is a primer. Do not be alarmed. It is not a joke. I've had some calls. Kim?
No report.
Scott?
Yes, last week we had to request for emergency authorization to replace the circulation pump at the pool. That is one of 2 pumps. The pump will be rebuilt, the motor will be new. It was actually cheaper to get a new motor. We could not look at getting a new pump because that pump, believe it or not, even the pool's not that old, has been, it's outdated. They don't make that pump anymore. So it was challenging to get the product in place for the pool to open on time. And the only way we could do it is by asking the authorization of last week to get it started. The cost for that is $17,671.63, and that's an estimated cost. That includes the labor to take it out, to test. It was a twisted shaft in the motor, and re-epoxy of the inside of the pump. Different from the pumps that are used at the Public Works treatment plant. Ours are epoxy coated due to the chemicals, the harsh chemicals that is damaging to pumps. So there's a little more involved with the aquatic center pumps than you would see at the treatment facility.
Thank you, Scott. Rachel?
No report.
Kelly?
No report.
Jim?
No report.
Trey?
Can I take mine back?
Back to Kelly?
Go back to me. 2 things. Thank you for getting the bleachers at the basketball court and the pickleball court. We have been utilizing it. And Kim, that looks amazing. Like,
Yes.
very good job.
Very good.
That's all I'm done now.
Do you need to retract? Okay. Tracy?
No report.
Pam?
No report.
All right. My only report is thank you for our fire department and Red Cross and City of Oak Grove for Sound the Alarm event was Saturday. If you had people walking and saw them in the neighborhoods, we were putting door tags and installing free smoke detectors. Just so you know, if you did not get your door knocked on, you can get a free smoke detector from our from our fire, or from Red Cross at any time. I highly recommend it. The smoke detectors are only good 10 years. We were in some houses where smoke detectors were over 40 years old and weren't even, working properly. Red Cross will put them in for free. So that's all I have, except for thank you all for coming tonight, spending the time to come out and honor your family members and spend the time with us. We really appreciate it, and we're very thankful and grateful and have so much gratitude for their service to our city. So please hang around as soon as I hit this gavel and have some fun with us. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. We are adjourned.
So loud.
What?
It's like the gavel. It's so loud. That looks so
There's one up there, too. Did you
I
see that?
literally thought that